Welcome back to Aerodynamics. This is Hill to Hill, doing a series on all 19, now 22 AI tourneys. My aim spot is in between that bush and that tree on the left, and I'm doing a full send with the Glide Skip Ballista Pro. Just sneak past that first bush and then get a little bit of collision on that second bush, and that leaves me with a 64-foot putt for eagle. Pretty much in a one wind, anything inside of 100 feet feels like a must make, and then still feeling good about anything up to maybe 150 feet or so. In this wind, you can, without moving that original aim point, you can do a accurate windbreak or glide, accurate glide musket run. I prefer this high hyzer ace run on Oak Hill 2, where I aim kind of by that rogue branch on that tree. And I like this line because if you miss the ace run, as I do here, I think you have a better comebacker situation. You're less likely to go long on the other side of the basket, wind up behind one of these three bushes that I'm next to right now. So definitely recommend this line, especially if it's not something you've experimented with before. On Oak Hill 3, skip please, I like to aim the bottom of the top arrow next to that branch in the distance. There's like kind of three trees, and I like to snake it right behind. I mean, this is a pretty perfect execution of what I was trying to do there. So definitely, if you don't have a good line for this one, I recommend going back and checking out where my aim spot was there. 58 feet for the eagle, and that's pretty routine with the accurate windbreak fuse. On I forget what this one's called, the banana or something. I like to use the Glide Roll Ballista Pro, and I'm using the bottom of the bottom green arrow as my aim point right on the left side of that tree, with a ton of anhyzer for the roll function. You can also use the bottom of the middle arrow. I kind of go back and forth on which one of those is better. If I do the bottom of the middle arrow, I actually am on the right side of that same exact tree, and that was a pretty ideal roller. So this is one of the holes that I always like to use the roll disc on, and that worked out just great. On Grandma's House, I think this hole is nicknamed, with a 2 kind of tailwind. My main concern is overshooting this. I'm using the bottom arrow, the bottom of the bottom arrow as my aim point. And the other main concern is if you go too far to the right, sometimes the glide wind ballista that I'm using will turn a little too much. I was less worried about that in that tailwind. And I don't mind the collision on those trees there, because yeah, you still usually end up within like 80 feet or so. Bigger concern with the tailwind is going OB long. And that's why I like the glide wind ballista instead of like a light glide ballista pro or something that's a little bit more powerful. So far looking good. Basically my only arguable miss is that ace on Oak Hill 2. So here I don't adjust the aim point at all, and I'm using an accurate windbreak fuse. As long as you don't get a bad skip off of that rock and you don't put too much power on it, you should be able to avoid going swimming here. And then pretty consistently I'm looking at 125, maybe 100, sometimes 120 if I'm really close to the water and I'm really kind of dangerous with that. Oftentimes more like 130, 135 feet. So this is pretty routine. And then just playing the camera pan for the eagle there. And some winds you can get over across in one shot with like a light glide ballista pro, but I think it's a bit of a more dangerous play, and you can actually overshoot it and go in the water long on that last one. So aim spot here is on the left bottom side of that rock that I just kind of flew over, and I do full send with a forehand glide wind recoil, try to snake it over this rock. I love getting collision with that bush because then it usually leaves me with the smallest possible. But you could even get like a tap-in eagle if you get a really sick drive on this hole. But I mean, I'm still feeling good at this point. I'm just like, yeah, this is going well. And I think by this point, I'd gotten 16 on round 1 of Hill to Hill, but just hadn't been able to close it out, I think, until this time through. So with a 2 wind right to left, I wanted to go, I was considering going forehand glide skip ballista pro. I'm wondering, I can't remember if that's what I actually did here. Yeah, okay. And then it's basically just a full send straight back. I don't think I added any any anhyzer even on that one. And then I'm really just hoping to not get collision with that tree and not hit that rock on the right. So this is a pretty good drive. Leaves me with 69 feet for the eagle. And I think hole 8 and hole 6 might be the most difficult to consistently eagle, unless you get a failed skip on hole 3 or like a 3 headwind. So if you can kind of figure out drives and lines for, and hill to hill is a great way to do this if you haven't yet done the full eagle run on hill to hill. This is the tournament, I think, to help you do that. So here I like to, my aim point is kind of in line with the red arrow. I'm using the bottom green arrow and then a little bit to the left of that spot to make sure I don't hit the pole. You can either use accurate windbreak or accurate glide musket for this shot, and it's going to put you within easy putting range for the birdie there. So 16 down after round 1, and I'm just going to roll straight through. So you'll see the exact same line here. Forehand, I'm using the bottom green arrow as the aim point in line with the red arrow on the Mando pole. And then just a little bit of hyzer with the accurate windbreak or accurate glide musket. And even if you end up behind one of those bushes, you can do an easy, either rotate the world putt or just account for the collision, and it should be a pretty easy putt with both of those discs. So yeah, pretty routine there. Back to Oak Hill 8 on hole 2 here. And with this one wind, my aim point's the bottom of the top green arrow, right on the crest of that first hill, in line with the tree in the distance. And then I'm using some split disc anhyzer to make sure that I'm countering the overstability of the GSBP Ballista Pro, and that worked out just perfect. So I was really happy with the way that played out on Oak Hill 8 both times, and ended up with the eagle both times. Here I think you probably see me use the same line pretty much. Yeah, bottom green arrow next to the bottom left side of that rock. And then I think it's just going to be a full send with maybe, yeah, it looks like split disc anhyzer on a forehand glide wind recoil. And here I actually like to try to get, yeah, on top of that hill right there. Anytime I have a 1, 2, or 3 wind, because I think you end up with an easier putt or comebacker. So if you don't go close enough, though, you're not gonna get off of that hill, and then it's dangerous. You'd better off being on the bottom far away. But here I'm doing the same thing. I didn't adjust the original aim point. Accurate windbreak musket. I was worried I was gonna hit that rock right there, but I got a little lucky, and you can see, yeah, so here I have 130 feet with a 2 kind of cross headwind, and then really being careful with my aim point there. You can see the top of my accurate windbreak fuse is about the same distance away from the width of the Wi-Fi curve. That's about 130 feet, give or take. I'm maybe put a little bit more on it for the headwind, and I'm hoping to sneak it in there. Just chains out to the left, and that still had the similar emotional impact of when I made that shot the first time around. This post commentary. Man, that was so close. Back to Grandma's house using my, I think glide, was I going for, oh, you know, I think I tried for the ace run here using the GSBP Ballista Pro. Yeah, that was kind of risky. I don't really have an established ace run for that shot. So in my head, I usually use glide wind ballista, especially with the tailwind, but it ended up working out, I think, because I got collision on that tree. If I hadn't got collision or I went too far to the right, I might have ended up OB there. I also didn't do full power on that shot. So here you can see I'm using that same spot with the roller, same amount of anhyzer on that backhand roll glide Ballista Pro shot. Just love this pink purple disc, and you can usually get within, I don't know, like 70 or 80 feet for, even if the roll goes bad, you can usually get within like 100 feet for eagle here. So, and then by using the roller, you're taking OB out of play for the most part. Like if you're going to use a GSBP Ballista Pro on the right edge there and be flirting with OB. So here with the 3 tailwind, I want to make sure I'm using a sufficient amount of anhyzer with the Glide Skip Ballista Pro full power, hoping I get that skip. Sometimes you end up on that hill if you don't put enough. So I actually don't think I put enough anhyzer on this. I was kind of worried here because now I have a little bit of a downhill shot with a 3 wind still. So I'm just off the right side of the basket, powering down my accurate windbreak fuse. I'm kind of treating this like it's more of a 75-foot putt, and that worked out just great. I'm pretty much always trying to just sneak it over the cage on those shots. So now here I know I'd already gotten a 31 at this point, and I need to get the 32, so I think that's why I ran Grandma's House. So here I'm just hoping I can really spike the ace. I use that same high hyzer shot with the accurate windbreak musket, not quite full power, and nailed it. God, I loved hitting that ace. I was like, finally, I've been trying for the 32 for a while, and then that was kind of a bittersweet moment because I loved that. I was like, okay, I just got one more, can't mess up Oak Hill 1. Similar aim spot here. I'm between the tree and the bush, and I'm about to do a full send with the Glide Skip Ballista Pro. But I was still kind of kicking myself because I knew if I hit that throw in, that 130-foot throw in on Oak Hill 6, I could have had the first 33 on Oak Hill if I still made the ace. But super happy about that drive. And then I'm still at this point, still a little nervous that I was going to miss this 51-foot throw in, which I'd done that before. I'd gotten to 31 down and then missed the final throw in. It was like an 80-foot throw in or something. So finally I got it here. And yeah, thanks for watching. I'll post some more AI tourneys soon. It was a 32 on Oak Hill. I felt great about that. And we'll see who posts the first 33. Catch you next time.